Yo, what's up? This is your boy Derek Branch here, Strike7Sports.com. This is another episode of Strike 7 Sports Podcast. Joined by my co-host Brian Bottom, the elder Seaberry. This is another episode of Strike 7 Sports Podcast. So tonight we got another special guest with us. We got Tre Larkins of the Wise Guy Sports Podcast out of Cincinnati, Ohio. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. How you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good, man. Tonight we're just going to talk about the Green Bay Packers, preview the upcoming season, give you a projected outlook. We ain't gonna be with y'all that much long, but looking forward to the show tonight. All right, man. So Green Bay, had another disappointing finish to the season, 13-4 record. Had the home field advantage. I think the second year in a row had home field advantage. Couldn't get it done. Off season, a lot of drama with the Aaron Rodgers situation. You lose Devontae Adams out of nowhere. Thought that he would have came back with Aaron Rodgers to running back, but you lose Devontae Adams. But you still got Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb, Amari Rogers, Robert Tunyon, and you got the new addition of Christian Watson. Just want to ask you, do you feel like the Packers can still be an effective offense without the presence of Devontae Adams?
Absolutely. I think the Packers should be an elite offense because I believe it's going to give Aaron Rodgers an opportunity to distribute the football because I feel like the last few years it's been all about Devontae Adams. And Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers, they got a great connection and they were outstanding. They was probably the best quarterback wide receiver combination in the NFL the last 3 or 4 years. Statistically, that also is true as well. But I believe now that Devontae Adams is in Las Vegas, now I believe Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers, they're going to get an opportunity to distribute the football around. They got Christian Watson, Watson, the rookie that's going to be playing this year. They brought in Sammy Watkins in free agency. You still got the reliable veteran in Randall Cobb and Robert Tunyon. He's a tight end for the Packers. He was injured last year. I don't know if you guys remember. He was injured last year. He's going to return back to the lineup as well. And then, you still got Alan Lazard. I think Alan Lazard is a very underrated, receiver in the NFL. And I think he's going to get an opportunity to shine in this offense now that Devontae Adams is gone. And then you also have as well Romeo Dobbs. He's been balling in training camp so far for the Packers. So I think it's going to be an opportunity for a lot of receivers in that offense to get opportunities to make plays. And I think Aaron Rodgers is going to distribute the football effectively.
Are y'all got anything to add?
Um, you pretty much addressed like a lot of the questions. A lot of people are having questions about who could be step up and be the wide receiver one now. And do you think that Alan Lazard is ready to take this step to be a real number one wide receiver?
Honestly, I got my questions about Alan Lazard being a true number one. I think he's a solid number two, but I'm not sure if he's a number one because last year, statistically, Alan Lazard, he had 513 receiving yards, 8 touchdowns. So he was that number two reliable receiver for Aaron Rodgers. I'm not sure he can be a true number one. But again, I think when you look at the offense, and one of the keys is going to be if Sammy Watkins can stay healthy. Because I think if Sammy Watkins can stay healthy, fellas, I think that's going to help this Packers offense significantly. I think he's a player who can produce in that offense. And again, you got Randall Cobb, a reliable veteran. Alan Lazard, to answer that question, I don't think he's a true number one, but the sky's the limit. And we're going to find out how good Alan Lazard really is this year because he's going to get a lot of opportunities.
Brian, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I think the Packers are going to be good as long as they have Aaron Rodgers. Losing Devontae Adams is tough, but I think the receivers they have opportunity to step up and really show people what they're about. I really like Lazard. He's a really, really solid receiver. I think what about the tight end from A&M? Is he still with the Packers? Jace, is that his name?
Yeah. They don't have him no more. I think I don't think he's no longer with the Packers. You talking about
Sternberg?
Sternberg, yeah, he's not with the Packers anymore.
All right, but they still have Tunyon and they still have some of their other pieces, and so they'll still be good. But I'm really more worried about the Packers defense, to be honest with you. That's what I'm worried about.
Really?
Yes.
Really? They got the best defense in the league.
I was about to say, so going into this year, as a Packers fan, fellas, honestly, this is going to be different for me because I believe the strength of the team is with the defense. Compared to prior years, the strength of the team was the offense with Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and Aaron Jones. I think it's the other way around this year. I think defensively, led by defensive coordinator Joe Barry, I think the Packers, they're going to be a top 5 defense in the NFL. You're going to bring back one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL in Jair Alexander. You also got Eric Stokes. They re-signed Rasul Douglas, in free agency as well. So they brought him back. So they got depth in the secondary. You still got Savage. You still got Amos. And then I love their draft picks, Devontae Wyatt and Quay Walker out of Georgia. I'm looking forward to them stepping up, in that Packers defense and making plays. They brought back Devondre Campbell as well to lead the linebackers. So I'm excited about the Packers defense. I think that's going to be the strength of their team. And I think it's going to be the offense that's going to take some time to get into a rhythm as the season goes along.
So, Gerard Alexander, the cornerback, where would you rank him right now as the top NFL cornerback? A top 5, a top 10, top 15 corner?
I would say he was a top 5 cornerback in the league when he's healthy. I mean, outside of Jalen Ramsey, I think Jair Alexander, you can make an argument to be the best cornerback in the NFL. Like, I think he makes plays, and you can put him on the opposing team's number 1 receiver, and I think Jair Alexander can hold his own. And one of the things that defensive coordinators they love about DBs is a DB they can put on an island and they can shut down that side of the field. So I think that's Jair Alexander, and I think he's honestly probably arguably the best player on this Packers defense. I think he's the key for this Packers defense to be successful. They have to have Gerard Alexander healthy and in the mix.
So let me ask you another question in regards to the Devontae Adams situation. I look up a stat today on the whole Aaron Rodgers Adams connection. They were saying that I think Green Bay like 7-0 with 7-1 or 7-0 without Devontae Adams in the lineup. So you think that's kind of like that whole narrative about them not doing really well is a little, overblown without Devontae Adams?
Absolutely, because I also haven't mentioned yet the great running back duo with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. I think that's going to be a key as well for the Packers, being able to hand the football off to those two dynamic backs in that Matt LaFleur offense. That's going to be key. And then you talk about Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is coming off back-to-back NFL MVP seasons. Last year he had 37 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 4,115 passing yards. I think he's still the best quarterback in the NFL. I know other people might disagree, but I think Aaron Rodgers playing at the elite level that he is playing at, I don't think losing Devontae Adams is going to have this Packers offense in a situation where there's going to be a significant drop-off. As a matter of fact, I think it could be a blessing in disguise because I feel like it's going to give Aaron Rodgers an opportunity to distribute the football. But fellas, I will be honest. Don't get me to sit up here acting like I ain't going to miss number 17 in that green and gold because I will miss Devontae Adams because I think Devontae Adams is the best receiver in the NFL. But I think Aaron Rodgers is so great that Aaron Rodgers, because of his greatness, he can still overcome the absence of Devontae Adams.
So you think he's better than Cooper Kupp?
I think Cooper Kupp had a better season last year than Devontae Adams, but I think Devontae Adams over the last 3 or 4 years, I think Devontae Adams has been the best receiver in the NFL, like the last 3 or 4 years. Not last year, though. Last year, right. Cooper Kupp was outstanding.
All right, Brian, Leo, do you want to jump in?
I know y'all still talking about the receivers, but an area as a Packers fan that you have to address, and it really came to bite y'all in that game against San Francisco. Special teams. Green Bay finished dead last in special teams ranking the last season, and then in the last 17 years, they finished last 5 times, and they also finished between 26th and the 31st 6 different times in the last 15 years. The hiring of Rich Bisaccia, the former interim for the Raiders, how big was that for the special teams group, and what's the expectations in that arena as well? Because people, we're talking about offense and defense, but special teams was the area that arguably lost the Packers their game against San Francisco.
Absolutely. And when you look at the Packers special team unit, fellas, it's nowhere to go but up. That's how bad the special teams unit was last year, and it was something that the Packers coaching staff and the organization, they knew it was an issue. But I think Matt LaFleur, because they had a great offense led by Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, and the defense was playing at a pretty decent level, I think they kind of took for granted special teams last year, and so it came back to bite the Packers in the worst time of the season in a playoff game against the 49ers. I remember it to this day. 10-3. Both teams are struggling to move the football. I'm watching the game and I've accepted we're probably going to win this game, but we might not score another touchdown. It's 10-3. Packers are backed up in 49er territory. I mean, in their own territory. I'm sorry. In their own territory. They punt and it gets blocked. It changes the complete momentum of the game. 49ers pick the block punt up, score a touchdown, tie game. And y'all know the rest of the story. I'm still depressed over that loss. I don't even want to talk about the rest of the game and what happened, but the special teams unit was definitely a unit that needs to be improved, for the Packers to have success this year. It was a unit last year that was the weakness of their team. So I think bringing Rich Bisciotti, in from the Raiders is going to help, the special teams unit, because a lot of people said that Rich Bisciotti should have kept the Las Vegas Raiders head coaching job. He was leading their, search as far as keeping that job last year. So I think he's going to really, really help that Packers special teams unit.
Brian, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I was thinking about when he said the part about Rich Bisaccia potentially getting the Raiders job. I just thought of Leah. I think he was one of the people that said that. But yeah, I agree with everything he said. The question I just have, do you think Matt LaFleur is the coach to get it done? Because I think he's done a solid job. He's one of the bright offensive minds in the NFL, but some of his decision making in the playoffs have been questionable, and especially when the one that really scratches my head was when they decided to kick the field goal instead of going for it against the Bucs. You have arguably the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah,
why not go for it? And if you don't get it, fine, but at least you tried.
Yeah, I actually really like Matt LaFleur as a head coach. So far since he's been the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, he has a record of 39-10. So he's won 80% of his games, and I believe he's done an outstanding job at building a relationship with Aaron Rodgers, and that's the main key for a head coach. When you take a head coaching job opportunity, you want your head coach to build chemistry with your elite quarterback. And I think Matt LaFleur has done an outstanding job being a head coach of the Green Bay Packers and coaching a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers is. You got to think Aaron Rodgers, when Matt LaFleur got hired, Aaron Rodgers had already won 2 NFL MVPs. Aaron Rodgers had already won an NFL Super Bowl. He had already won the Super Bowl MVP and was already a Hall of Fame quarterback. So for Matt LaFleur to be able to come in, build a relationship up with Aaron Rodgers, build that chemistry, and be able to have the Packers over the last 3 years as being true Super Bowl contenders, I think it speaks to the type of coach that Matt LaFleur is. And he also learned a lot because he coached with Kyle Shanahan, and they got a great relationship as well. I think they like family. They connected somehow. I don't know exactly how, but I think they connected. But I think they have coached previously together. So I think Matt LaFleur has learned a lot, previously before he even got to Green Bay. And now that he's in Green Bay, I think he's doing an outstanding job as head coach. And I do think they can win the Super Bowl under Matt LaFleur.
So do you believe that, I want to ask you about this narrative as well, that Aaron Rodgers doesn't really gel well with younger talent? Do you believe in that narrative, or you think it's something else that's going on?
I think it's a little more so of a narrative that's kind of overhyped, Derek. I'm going to be honest. I think it's a little overhyped. I think Aaron Rodgers, he's had reliable veteran receivers to rely on in his career, in Jordy Nelson, in Greg Jennings, in Randall Cobb, in Devontae Adams. So when he has that relationship and that rapport with a veteran receiver who he trusts, I think that's something that he, relies on, at key moments in games. And I think it's a little bit overstated to say that he can't mesh well with, young receivers in this offense. Because I think this year he's going to get an opportunity to mesh well and build up a relationship and chemistry with Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs as well. So I think that's a little bit overstated. I think Aaron Rodgers, once he can trust you in this Packers offense, then I think Aaron Rodgers will get you the football if you're open and he can trust you.
All right, so let's give me a little insight into Romeo Dobbs. I've been hearing a lot about him in training camp and how his stock is rising among the wide receivers, and he has this potential as becoming a top target for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, so far in camp, he has been the one player who has had the best camp so far, this year. Like he's been the player who has stepped up in practice, and usually in these training camps, it takes about 1, 2, or 3 at the most practices for other veterans to notice, a rookie and if they can play at this level. And I've been hearing about everyone in practice saying that Romeo Dobbs is making plays and he's stepping up, in practice and showing Aaron Rodgers that he can be a reliable target. Now, the other day, they matched up Gerard Alexander on Romeo Dobbs, and he didn't catch a pass. Now I know why Matt LaFleur did that, because he wants to make sure this rookie stays humble. You gotta stay humble. Now you can make some plays in training camp, but can you win your matchup when you're going up against a top 5 cornerback in the NFL? He didn't catch a pass, but I don't think that's something that should shake his confidence. I think once we get into the preseason, we're going to see Romeo Dobbs, in this Packers offense making plays. And, obviously it's probably going to be Jordan Love, throwing him the ball, not Aaron Rodgers, because I don't even think Aaron Rodgers is going to even suit up for any preseason game. And as a Packers fan, I quite frankly don't even want him to play no preseason games. But I'm excited about Romeo Dobbs. I think he's a rookie that can definitely step up in this offense. And, we've been talking about Christian Watson. It could be Romeo Dobbs as the rookie to look out for, in the Packers offense this year.
Got anything to add, Leo?
2 questions. Now you brought up two interesting points. First question is about Jordan Love. Some teams, I'm pretty sure there's some teams that look at him maybe as a long-term starter. I mean, obviously, as long as Aaron Rodgers is there, he won't start. What do you think is his immediate future, say the next 1 to 2 years with the Packers? And second of all, Amari Rogers, they had just drafted in the 3rd round. What's the intel in on him? Has he improved through training camp as well?
To answer your first question about Jordan Love, I'm gonna just say it right now and put it out there. I think Jordan Love is a part of the reason why Davante Adams left Green Bay for Las Vegas. And I think it's 2 main reasons why Davante left Green Bay to go to Las Vegas. One, he got a great relationship with Derek Carr. I remember they played back at Fresno State. So not only do they have a great relationship on the field, they got a great relationship off the field as well. But the second thing is also, I don't think Davante Adams believes in Jordan Love. He's seeing Jordan Love in practice every day. And he's thinking, like, man, what if Aaron retires in the next 2 or 3 years? Because we all know Aaron Rodgers, similar to Kevin Durant. Aaron Rodgers, we don't know how Aaron's going to wake up each day. Like one day he wants to play football, and the next day he might want to retire. It's really up in the air with him from year to year. I think at the most, Aaron Rodgers has 3 more years left. He signed a 3-year deal with the Packers, earlier this offseason. And I think Davante Adams saw Jordan Love in camp and saw Jordan Love the last few years and said, I'm not sure if this guy is going to be the person or the quarterback that can help me stay at an elite level as a receiver. Let me get out of here right now and go play with my boy in Las Vegas and Derek Carr and still play at an elite level. So to answer your question, I'm not a believer in Jordan Love. I'm going to ride these last few years out with Aaron and pray we get a Super Bowl, because I'm not sure about the future once Aaron Rodgers, decides to hang him up. And when it comes to Amari Rogers, he's actually a receiver that I'm excited to see this year, because last year he wasn't very good. He only had 4 receptions, 45 receiving yards. So he didn't really produce, in that Packers offense like they expected him to. But he's going to get more opportunities this year, and I want to see what he's got. Like so far, like I've seen him in, on special teams as a punt returner. We're going to get a chance to see him, at receiver in this Packers offense and see if he can make some plays, and help Aaron Rodgers move the football.
So you believe Aaron Rodgers has 3 years left, a good
I
3 years left of this type of production?
I do. I think Aaron Rodgers could produce at this level for the next 5 or 6 years. But I just don't think Aaron Rodgers is a football nut like Tom Brady is. So I can't see Aaron Rodgers playing till he's 45. Like, I just can't. Like, I wish he would play till he's 45 as a Packers fan, but I don't see it. Like, he's already had times where he has, mentioned retirement and so forth and having other desires besides football. So I think that's also a part of the reason why Devontae Adams left, because I think Devontae knows that Aaron is only going to be around for the next three years at the most, and he'd rather take his talents elsewhere, team up with his boy and Derek Carr, because he knows Jordan Love isn't going to be very good. But when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, I think Aaron Rodgers' legacy is solidified, and I think the only thing Aaron Rodgers can do at this point is just make his legacy that much more better. I think Aaron Rodgers is already a top 10 quarterback of all time, and if he wins another Super Bowl, I think he will creep his way into that top 5 all-time quarterback conversation. But real quick, I want to say this too, before your next question, Derek. We've been talking a lot about the receivers in the Packers offense. One of the keys as well for this Packers team to be successful this year is going to be whether or not David Bakhtiari is available.
Right.
I think that's going to be key, because the last 2 years in the playoffs, in games where the Packers lost to the Bucks in the NFC Championship game 2 years ago, and last year against the Niners, they gave up 5 sacks in both of those games. 5 sacks. So you want David Bakhtiari, who's arguably the best tackle in pro football, you need him in the lineup to protect Aaron Rodgers in these playoff games. So honestly, I think David Bakhtiari might be the most important Packer player on this offense, more so than Aaron Rodgers, more so than Aaron Jones, because I think he's going to have to protect Aaron Rodgers at key moments. And, if he's not available and he's not in the lineup, it's going to be trouble. Elton Jenkins, another player on that Packers offensive line, he's also out right now rehabbing from a season-ending injury from last year. He's going to be key. Elton Jenkins and David Bakhtiari are the best 2 offensive linemen the Packers have. Josh Myers, a center, he's pretty solid as well. But they're going to need Jenkins and Bakhtiari if they're going to be true Super Bowl contenders.
Brian, anything to
add? Not really. It's just I thought of something that I forgot. I'll come back to it when I remember.
All right. So if, let's just say, they go all the way, get to the Super Bowl and win it, Aaron Rodgers retires, and so if he does retire with a Super Bowl championship, what will be the next plan of action for Green Bay? Will he lower everything up, or trust Jordan Love to get to bring him back to keep him in that contender status, or will they try to go out and get a quarterback?
Go out and get a quarterback. I mean, like I said,
Right.
I still want to. I wouldn't mind seeing Jordan Love, for one season and seeing what he's got, because I don't want to just say that he can't play just based on one game last year that he played against the Kansas City Chiefs. I do want to see him in live game action, but for what I'm hearing, he's not showing that promise, in practices and in camp so far. So I got my questions about Jordan Love, and fellas, y'all know, as a Packers fan, I'm spoiled. I mean, I went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, so I'm spoiled. So I'm not used to bad play at the quarterback position. So if Jordan Love can't play, I think the Packers definitely need to try and find the quarterback of the future in the upcoming draft real soon. If Aaron Rodgers wins the Super Bowl and retires and stuff.
So you think they shouldn't pursue free agency like a Lamar Jackson if he comes available?
I can't see Baltimore letting Lamar go. I can't see it. There's no way Baltimore going to let Lamar Jackson walk. It's just not going to happen.
You never know.
But then also, the Packers organization, they don't sign free agents. They are a team that builds through the draft. They don't sign free agents. Not to mention, nobody want to come to Green Bay and play. I mean, Green Bay is not Las Vegas. This ain't LA. This ain't New York. This is Green Bay, Wisconsin. I've been up there. Ain't nothing to do. I'm supposed to be going to a game this year Me and my girl's supposed to be going. And I already told her, hey, it ain't too much we're gonna be doing. I mean, it ain't too much going on. It ain't too much going on in Green Bay. So free agents are not lining up to go to Green Bay and play, but that's not really how the organization, works anyway. They try to build through the draft.
All right. So, all right, you got anything there, Leo?
Um, I have a question. So about the Jordan Love, do you think that if when Aaron Rodgers was saying about, I think it was a few years, like maybe even last year or the year before last, where he was talking about he didn't want to play for the Packers anymore. Do you think that if Jordan Love was up to the progression that, let's just say he was developing as the guy that they envisioned when they drafted him in the first round, do you think the Packers would have been as concerned about pleasing Aaron as they were, even though we know how great he is, but if Jordan showed enough promise, would they have been as concerned about Aaron not coming back?
That's a great question. I think that if Aaron, I think what happened was, I think the Packers, the reason why they were wrong in all this is because Jordan Love isn't very good. Like, if Jordan Love was actually good and he showed promise, because I remember when Patrick Mahomes took over for the Kansas City Chiefs, they were talking about Patrick Mahomes, the last year when Alex Smith started in Kansas City. They were talking about how great Patrick Mahomes was and how they see his promise in practice. If Jordan Love showed promise in practice, I think it would be a good chance that the Packers would have moved on from Aaron Rodgers. Now, it would have been a mistake. It would have been the wrong decision because clearly Aaron Rodgers is still arguably the best quarterback in the NFL. He's just won back-to-back NFL MVPs. 2020, he had 48 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 4,299 passing yards. Last year, 37 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So we know Aaron Rodgers is still a top 5 quarterback, arguably top, 3 quarterback, depending on who you ask. So I think it would have been a bad decision. But I do believe that Jordan Love has shown promise in these preseason games and in practices. I think it's a good chance that the Packers organization would have moved on from Aaron Rodgers. And I think they got it wrong because they thought Aaron Rodgers was done after the 2019 season. Remember that was the year, that was Matt LaFleur's first year in Green Bay. That year, Aaron Rodgers had 26 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, which is still great. Like the average quarterback, like Ryan Tannehill, if he had a season where he had 26 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, we'd be talking about him being in the MVP conversation. But because it's Aaron Rodgers is judged on a different standard, similar to LeBron James in the NBA. He's judged on a different standard. So, again, I do believe that if Jordan Love had shown promise and could actually play, I think it's a good chance that Aaron Rodgers would not be playing in Green Bay right now. But because he couldn't play, it gave Aaron Rodgers actually more leverage in negotiations and contract negotiations and stuff.
All right. So I'm going to close it out on this, man. All right. So a lot of people this season expect y'all to take a step back.
Yeah.
And they're expecting the Minnesota Vikings, including myself, to take over the NFC North.
Including you?
Me.
What? Oh, so you rolling with Kirk Cousins over A-Rod, Derek?
Man, hey, man. The man got a new coach, man.
Ooh. Man.
But let me ask you, though.
Yeah.
Do you think the Vikings are a threat to the Packers? Or do you still believe Green Bay is a team to beat the NFC North?
I believe both of those. The answers to both of those questions are yes. I think the Vikings are a threat to the Packers in the NFC North, but I do believe that the division is the Packers' division to lose. I think the Packers should be the favorites in the NFC North, but I'm not going to, underestimate the Minnesota Vikings because we know how dynamic that offense is. They got, Justin Jefferson. They got Adam Thielen. You got Dalvin Cook, a top 10 running back, in the NFL in that offense. You got Kirk Cousins. And I actually think Kirk Cousins, he's a good quarterback. I don't think Kirk Cousins is great like a Patrick Mahomes or like an Aaron Rodgers or like a, Joe Burrow or Tom Brady. But I think Kirk Cousins can hold his own. And I think Kirk Cousins is a quarterback who can win a division, and possibly win you one playoff game. So I do like the Minnesota Vikings team, and they are legit threats to the Packers in the NFC North. But they're the only threats to the Packers in the NFC North. I don't believe in the Detroit Lions. They're the Lions. I like Justin Fields, but I still need to see, Justin Fields' second year and see if he can, progress and have a better season than he did in his rookie year. But I do like Justin Fields a lot, but I think he has a lot to learn. But I think the Minnesota Vikings and the Packers will be both teams who will compete in the NFC North. But I think ultimately the Packers will win the division again. I'm not about to put my money on Kirk Cousins. I'm going to pick Aaron Rodgers all day long over Kirk Cousins. So I think it's going to be the Packers division to lose. And I think the Packers defense will be a top 5 defense. And they're going to show it week 1 because guess who they play? They play Minnesota in Minnesota week 1. So I'm excited for that matchup.
So you don't think that the Detroit Lions could be that Cincinnati Bengals type team that just come out of nowhere? Absolutely. They got a lot of talent on that team.
I ain't ready. Detroit. It's Detroit. It's the Lions. I'm not. And then I'm not a believer in Jared Goff. I don't believe in Jared Goff like that. I never believed that Jared Goff was a good quarterback. I think he's okay, but I don't think he's a good quarterback. And so I'm not a believer in the Lions. I think the Lions are the Lions. I think they will be a team that will compete this year. I can see the Lions going maybe 6-11 or 7-10, and that would be a good season for the Lions.
Yeah, it would be. All right, man. That's it. We're gonna let you go on that one. Can you let the folks know where they can find you on Twitter and social media?
Yeah, you can find me my sports podcast, Wise Guys _OH. Also on Facebook, Wise Guys. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at These Guys Know Sports. And remember, Tuesdays, Thursdays, 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. on the Worldwide Sports Network. That's 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. on the Worldwide Sports Network, the Wise Guys Sport Podcast. That's where you can find me. Real quick, fellas, I want to say this. I appreciate y'all bringing me on tonight. And one thing, too, I know everybody they think the Packers are going to take a step back this year. But I think that's what's exciting as a Packers fan. Like, everybody's talking about the Bucks and the Rams. I'm excited because I think the Packers, dare I say, are flying under the radar. They flying under the radar, Derek. They fly. And my man, how you pronounce your name, brother? I want to make sure I got you right. Your co-host, what's
Leoden? Leo.
Okay, Leoden, and then Seabury Jr.
Seabury, yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure they flying under the radar. And y'all remember the last time the Packers flew under the radar? That's when Aaron Rodgers won his one and only Super Bowl. They won it as a 6 seed. Remember? They went on the road. They went on the road to Philly. They beat the Eagles and Michael Vick. They went on into Atlanta. They beat Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. And in the NFC Championship game, they beat the Chicago Bears. All road games. So keep down my Packers, Derek. I'm glad you picking the Minnesota Vikings because now I got somebody who I can trash talk during the season.
All right, we'll see, man.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
He got a new coach, man. Cousins is gonna be dangerous.
For sure.
All right, man. So we have you off right now. Give us a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let us know how you feel. You listen to this through Apple or Spotify. Give us a 5-star rating. Leave your review. That's all we have for y'all for tonight. We'll be back next week. Have a blessed night. Peace. We out.